Is it true that every Nigerian that comes in the UK is, cleaning British bums and doing jobs that they wouldn't do in Nigeria?
I mean, for me, the mindset has always been the Dickinson label. This part of the world, there's nothing like classism or anything. If someone's doing a job, as far as the job is legal and they're doing the right thing, they're not stealing or whatever, we need to respect each other's choices. We all can't be the same. Not everybody can be working in an office. Not everybody can be doing certain jobs. What we have as Nigerians is the fact that because someone is not doing what you expect them to do, suddenly they're not good enough. A prime minister can lose his job for just replacing a cleaner. This is not Nigeria, the anyhowness within our society. So when it comes out of the world, we respect other people's ways of life. I've seen carers, healthcare assistant for over 15, 20 years, British citizens, born and bred in the UK. But they never change their career because they have a passion for what they're doing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the 91 Podcast, the show where we dig deep into people's passions with the hope to inspire, encourage, and motivate you. On today's episode, we have a very special guest. He's a political analyst and he's an advocate for good governance. He's also the president of the NIUK community, and he's none other than the Oluomo of Derby. Welcome. It's great to have you in our studio today.
Thank you for having me. Nice one podcast. Also glad to be here with you guys this evening. But yeah, looking forward to a wonderful interview. Thank you.
That's great. So I've got one very special question for you. One very important question. It's something that's been on my mind. How did you come up with the name Oluomo of Derby? Who crowned you the Oluomo of Derby?
Fantastic. So obviously I lived in London for a few years and decided to move to Derby. One of my sisters always lived in Derby. Every time I go and visit her from London, I just fell in love with the town. And then obviously I moved to a few weeks down to Derby. And I just realized that a few things she was doing, she was running a business, she wasn't doing it right. And I felt like, sister, you know what? Let's do A, B, C, D. And she wasn't too sure. Okay, you know what? Let me give it thoughts. And we did it. And in a couple of months, the business boomed. And because she's sort of a person who just laid back. And I said to her, no, you need to push yourself out there, more public awareness. We did leaflets, put in city centers, universities, in black businesses. And her business just got so busy that she had to employ 2 new staffs.
Wow.
And then she now said, you know what? You are definitely a blessed child to me. And the next, he just called me Oluomo of Derby.
And boom.
And the rest is history. But yeah.
So what's your real name? Unless you're hiding it for, security reasons.
No, never had my real name. My name is all over the place. Maybe you just never noticed. So my real name is Benjamin Kuti. If you even go on our website, which is the NIUKcommunity.com website, you see my name there. On so many public newspapers, adverts I've done. It's always been there. It's always it's like it's in the public. There's nothing there. Benjamin I have no reason to hide my name for security reasons at all. Not today, not tomorrow, and never in a million years.
Oh wow, Benjamin Kuti. Are you related to the Kutis or?
I wish I was, but no. I wish I was. I get asked that name all the time, but no, it's just a typical name. Never, not at all. No.
So, what's the NIUK community?
So the NIUK community is a community for Nigerians in the UK itself. It's a community that it was just an idea that I had. Basically reach out to a group of friends of mine, like Violet, Dr. Simi. There's a gentleman called SK, who are these 4 people are more like the backbones of the community. So I reached out to them a couple of months ago. This is over a year now. This is the idea. What do you think? They felt like, you know what? Let's do it. When you look at the amount of Nigerians in the UK, there's a lot of us here. I would say not many people have directions, you understand? And I feel like let's put our house in order. A lot of things are not right. When you look at other communities, the Indian community, the Pakistani community, even the Filipinos,
they
even now the Polish community, the Lithuania, you see how much progress they made. So I just feel like, you know what, let's all put our hands on the deck. Let's be together. Let's create a community that can put us together as Nigerians in the UK. And of course, let's share ideas, goals, and support each other. And the rest was history.
So what sort of things does it do to improve the lives of Nigerians in the UK?
Okay, fantastic. So what we do is, on a day-to-day basis, different ideas and stuff. So, for example, in our community, we've had people, obviously, who do a lot of different jobs. So a lot of people say a lot of Nigerians do minimum jobs, but which is also not the truth. So what we realized that what we need to understand in the UK, information is the key. So, for example, in our community, we've done careers, what you call transition into nursing, transition into engineering, and transition into tech, transitioning into finances, transition into even what's it called? Buying a house expat. So all these things we're trying to build people's life because a lot of people are doing different kind of jobs. So whatever job you're doing, there's also an opportunity for you. So recently we did a career transition into tech, whereby if you want to be a business analysis, project management, UI, UX, Scrum Master, Agile, you name it, you understand? So there's a lot of opportunities there. And we have a lot of mentors in the community. The likes of, there's a lady called Dr. Ireti. She's based in Manchester. She does cybersecurity. We recently did transition into cybersecurity with her and her team. So no matter what it is in the community, whatever career you think you can transition into, or we normally have a lot of Twitter spaces that one Twitter spaces we host is definitely somebody will learn and gain something from there. And
so are there any success stories of people who've joined this community and it's improved their lives in one way or another? Can you give us some examples of people you might know?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lady called Annie Bong, one of the biggest stories in our community so far. She's also a mom. So she's been doing healthcare assistant job for a couple of years. She joined the community, and then obviously she met a few people that eye opener. So when we do some programs called Transition into Tech, for example, you understand, she's now basically transitioned from healthcare assistant into business analyst today. Now today she's sitting at home, as a remote job, earning £150, £200. In fact, the other day she just told me that she's just got on that job that she's doing 2 jobs at the same time. I'm like, sister, what's going on? I said, sister, my birthday is on March. My holiday. In fact, she promised me that my next holiday, she's going to pay for my flight tickets. So this clearly tells you how much she's so comfortable. I mean, I remembered a couple of years ago, financially she wasn't there. But today, glory be to God, she's in a much, much better place. And it's some of the stories that really just makes me happy to see, you understand? I mean, she basically works as a remote job from in the house. In fact, even the end of the year NIUK party we're going to have, she's also donated towards the event itself. So clearly tells you how our story changed, to glory today. And that just makes me happy. Just even last year, we hosted a space called How to Buy a House in the UK, how to get a mortgage and stuff. So for example, we had some mortgage experts that came on the space. So people, educators are about. So for example, you as an immigrant, some banks will not give you mortgage if you don't have an indefinite leave or you have a British passport. But there's also some lenders who also lend you money. So for example, Halifax is pro-migrant friendly.
Wow.
So a lot of our community members didn't know that. You understand? So until when this gentleman came to educate us on this Twitter space called How to Buy a House, a lot of people now went to Halifax and they got their mortgage approved. 3 people from that space now have a property in the UK. All due to that kind of space educated a lot of us to understand that. Because people were like, because I have a visa, I might not be good enough. But the man came and said, no, with your visa, there's still some lenders that will approve you for a mortgage in the UK.
That's the thing. Knowledge is power. A lot of people don't know things. So that's why they're suffering. That's why they're going through hardships. But when they have that information, it can really improve their lives. Yeah. So is this group free? Or do I have to, pay something to join?
So at this stage, the group is free itself, you understand? I mean, we still have a lot of plans ahead. We're not there yet. I mean, but no matter what group you join, I think we can all be real with ourselves that every community group needs funding, you understand? So at this stage, we have over 14,300 members in the community now. The group is free. Of course, we're trying to do constitution. We've done a website. We're having a few events coming up. I mean, there's a few things that we're doing back and forth itself. And we have a lot of brands also support us. I mean, we work about over 21 different brands that support the community. But my belief is, in the long term, we need to sit down and ask ourselves questions. I'm not saying brands shouldn't support us, which is great, it should be a plus. To me, it should be a plus, you understand? I mean, I've actually chatted with some of the members of the ExCos that, okay, maybe from next year, we're going to have maybe £20 a yearly membership fees for every member in the community. But how it works as a community is you can have an idea. I mean, we always vote about these things. I remember last time we talked about maybe some of the ExCos agree, some didn't agree. Some people felt like we're not there yet, you understand? But I think next year we'll talk about these issues moving forward. But I think for me, the truth is, let's ask ourselves, no group we're going to do community without the right funding, we're not going to make progress.
Yeah, how do you end up inviting the people that are going to come in, and educate them on things? So how do you run the event? So everything needs funding.
Exactly, yeah. So for example, now a lot of the events are run based on the ticket sales, based on the the brand supporting us, which is a great idea. But in the long term, we also need to see people having been committed to say, you know what, because you're part of a group that is a striving community. So for example, now if you need a combination problem, it's just today as I'm coming to you, one of our members was, she was homeless. She just reached out this morning. We tweeted in the community who lives in Bradford, you understand? And guess what? Almost about 11 people came up to rescue her.
Just like that.
One person rescued her, and before we knew it, another person said, you know what, my landlord has a place. And now she's just got a room now.
Just like
this
that.
evening. That's it. Just instant like that. I'm talking about all done within a couple of less than 5 hours. I mean, from the girl to the gentleman who helped her with the landlord, apart from I've never seen them before, but they just community members. Just the truth in the community. A lot of people reach out. Some even say, listen, let her come and stay for 2 weeks with me, and then if you can find a servant, understand?
Like that.
And then along the line, the gentleman said, listen, my landlord has a place. They reach out to the landlord, £100 deposits, £280 a month inclusive, and the girl's good to go. So this is all the differences.
So clearly you're not, doing this thing to make money from it. Some people did say before that you were doing this because you wanted to, you wanted to become a politician. So how did you feel about that statement?
I think the bottom line is that we are Nigerians, understand? No matter what you do, people will always talk, understand? And the truth about life is you can't please everybody, understand? I believe when I had this vision, this is vision that got a lot of us here today. I mean, we have 14,300 members, understand? So that's, for me, is good, more than good enough, rather than, there's people that say, I'll call them the naysayers, understand? Naysayers ask themselves, what exactly are you doing? What impact are you making for people? The answer is nothing, you understand? All they can do is just talk. But that's the truth about life. So no matter what you're doing, people always talk. As far you know deep down, what you're doing is genuine, what you're doing is a good intention, that's it is. If I was planning to make money, or there's money behind it, would have been charging members. I mean, 14,300 members. Okay, let's even be charging a £10 a year membership. That's a lot of money, you understand? I mean, a lot of us have success before. The community was created just over a year ago. Is it the money I want to make that's been feeding me all the time since I've been in the UK? So, of course, you always have naysayers. I mean, this is irrelevant. I mean, the fact that the majority, the vision that we had, over 14,000 people joined the community, that tells you
in
that on the right track.
Over 14,000 people have believed in it in just a year.
And it's just the beginning of great things to come.
So, apart from those naysayers, there are a lot of people online who are always, talking about, don't Japa, in life in the UK is hard, life in the UK is tough, stay in Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. What's your thought on that? What do you think about people?
I'm in two places for that. Obviously, the old Japa stuff is bad for our economy. It's bad. It's a brain drain on the Nigerian economy. But you also need to look from a different angle to that. People will always strive for a better life. That's the truth about life. You understand? I mean, I've always, as a good governance advocate myself, I always try and fight for a better Nigeria, a better governance in our society. Because the truth is, if I'm in a enabling environment, people will stay put. That's just the truth. Recently, I think a couple of months ago, a company came from from Saudi Arabia to recruit doctors in Nigeria, in Abuja. If you see the amount of doctors that wanted to leave, you'll be asking yourself, were they giving free flight ticket or something? That tells you exactly what the problem is. Just last week, an article came out in the UK newspaper, Daily Mail, saying over 2,000 Nigerian doctors relocated to the UK last year. So it tells you all is not well in our society. But you can't blame them. So, for example, in Saudi Arabia that a lot of doctors want to move into, the minimum wage in Saudi Arabia is, when you calculate the riyadh money to Naira, is about 303,000 Naira a month. That's a minimum wage in Saudi Arabia. You can't blame people because people strive for a better life. So that tells you that if the minimum wage in Saudi Arabia is about 303,000 Naira, when you calculate to Naira, then a doctor probably earning about almost £1 million a month in Saudi Arabia. Wow. Recently, the minimum wage came off in Africa, and Nigeria was number 22nd. So that tells you that all is not well. I mean, we call ourselves the giant of Africa, but the standard of living in our country is totally unacceptable. When you look at a country like Shells was the highest in Africa, number one. So when you convert the dollars to Naira, it's about 177,000 Naira Shells. Libya was number 2 in Africa, which is 133,000 Naira a month. Morocco was number 3 in Africa, about 170,000 Naira a month. When you convert it, Nigeria was number 22nd. So that tells in a country like Morocco, even a nurse, a cleaner in Morocco, which is 170,000 Naira, earns more money than some nurses in Nigeria. We have nurses in some states in Nigeria who are earning 56,000 in a month. So you can't blame people when people want to Japa because people want to strive for a better life. That's just what it is. So for me, it all comes to the government back home to make sure we create an enabling environment for people to have a better life. Thank you.
So you said you're fighting for, good governance. So how are you fighting for good governance in Nigeria when you're living here in the UK?
So as a Nigerian diaspora, no matter where you're based, you understand, once you have that impact in your society, you have that vision. I mean, I'm in Nigeria back and forth, doesn't make any difference. So you don't have to be based in Nigeria to have a cause, you understand? You can be anywhere in the world, to have a cause for that fight itself. To say, listen, because some of us, I'll say, well, I mean, when you've been to a few places in the world, your eyes are open to, okay, what exactly are they doing here that we can't do back in our country? It's not like maybe, what we see in England here, with all due respect to the UK that I love so much, we can also do it back home, you understand? The healthcare sector they have here, the hospitals, the good infrastructure, the good security, we can also have it in our country. So it's not rocket science. So the good things are some of us who have been here, who have seen how things work. You live in a country that you work, you pay your taxes, you know what you're paying for those taxes. As I'm sitting here now, if I have an headache, all I have to do is pick my phone, ring 999. In the next 10 minutes, an ambulance will be here to pick me up. Ask ourselves, where exactly are you enjoying paying your taxes as a Nigerian in Nigeria? Ask yourself those simple questions, you understand? So all these things enlighten me because some of us have seen the light. Say, you know what? And even when we go back home, I'm not going to, because I'm in the UK, and I'm comfortable to see things are not working with my country, you understand? Because at the end of the day, no place like home, no matter what, you understand?
Okay. It seems like you have a lot to say about, the government in Nigeria. So if you were no more the Oluomo of Derby and you became the president of Nigeria, what would you do differently?
Sometimes, like I said, I always find it difficult to even, when I see people become president of Nigeria, I find it very difficult because they say there's a lot in stake. Nigeria's problem is immense. When you look at from politics to tribalism to corruption, so many problems in our society. But of course, for me, one of the biggest factors has to be, creating jobs. When jobs are created, crimes also go down. A good healthcare system, because health is wealth. Insecurity, 24/7 electricity, because when we have 24/7 electricity in our country, the economy also boosts because people can work from home, wake up at all times, make money online and stuff. Of course, it works also good for economy. And of course, corruption. If Nigerians don't kill corruption, corruption will kill Nigerians. It's just that simple.
Wow.
Thank you.
So do you think our current president is doing a good job?
So far so good. I don't like criticizing people too much. He's only been there for, I think, just over 100 days. I think time will tell. The policies in place is coming in. But I think something that I probably didn't like, for example, going to, the Dubai recently with the almost 1,400 delegates makes no sense. Because I believe any government comes into power now, you need to understand that you need to cut down the cost of governance. Understand? If you can't cut down the cost of governance, then I'm sorry, you have no business being in power. Understand? Look at the suffering in our society. Inflation has gone up. People are suffering day-to-day basis. So our leaders should lead by example.
Every day people are getting kidnapped.
Exactly. So all these things is not adding up. But it's only done a couple of over 100 days, so we have to wait and see what happens. So.
You just said you don't like criticizing people in politics, but then you did put a tweet online saying the Nigerian politicians are just heartless. So what was that about?
So, criticism is different. And there's something that, we need to call a spade a spade. You can't take 10 billion naira to build a house for somebody and then, sit on the fence. This is our lives at stake, you understand? That 10 billion naira will make a big difference in our society. I believe that kind of money should have been used to a company like Innocent Vehicles, for example, to build more plants. Maybe Innocent Vehicles will build a plant in Sokoto State, for example. Sokoto State is one of the poorest states in Nigeria. Use that, maybe, for example, Innocent Vehicle building a plant in a place like Osun State as well. We live in a country that has about 33% of unemployment. You understand? Wow. This kind of money would have created more jobs. At least Innocent Vehicle would have employed at least 30,000 Nigerian youths to come and work in these factories. Would have built more vehicles, sell to more countries, even our neighbors, like of Ghana, Chad, Burkina Faso, Benin Republic, Togo. They'd have bought those vehicles from us. And guess what? It also boosts our economy as well. But to hear someone now taking 10 billion, this is not 10 million naira, 10 billion naira just to build a house for them. It makes no sense. So, of course, you actually ask yourself, how do you even sleep as a person knowing this kind of money has been spent on the house, and you understand that in a country like Nigeria today, we have over 100 million citizens living under $1 a day.
Wow.
Living abject poverty. It should make if you have a passion and a genuine love for this country, you should be asking yourself that this is not right. Understand? Yes, people can make money, but don't make money that put all of us, the rest of us, in a terrible place that making people desperate. Why do people are jackpot every day? Because people are striving for a better life because we don't have an enabling environment in our country to make people see a future in Nigeria. Thank you.
Do you see a future in Nigeria?
Of course I do. I believe in the country. I believe if you elect the right leaders, a lot of things are possible. And there's nothing that they're doing a different way that is like rocket science. We have what it takes. We have a lot of Nigerians who are very smart. They're just in the labor environments. Look at, for example, some of our doctors that work in different countries in the world. Some of the best. You understand? All they need is just opportunity, the right equipment to succeed in Nigeria. And of course, if you have a good leader who has a genuine vision for a better Nigeria, a lot of things will change.
I think the right question I should have asked you is, do you see a future for Nigeria in your lifetime?
Maybe not my lifetime. For our children, in the future grandchildren, because I think we're almost 40, 50 years behind from a normal country. That's just the truth. A lot of things are not right in our society. Well, we're getting there, but maybe a lot of us won't see a great Nigeria in our own lifetime. But if we can fight for a better Nigeria in our lifetime and our children, grandchildren can enjoy it, I think it's great. A lot of people fought for where we are today. You understand? The likes of Michael Johnson fought for black human rights and stuff that we all enjoy today. Barack Obama enjoyed being the first black American president. So a lot of things can change. But I believe the earlier the better we all come together as Nigerians to say, listen, a lot of things are not well in our country. We have to fight for better Nigeria. And that fight has to start from now. The fight doesn't mean people hating each other. No. Let's do things right. That's what it is. I believe unfair distribution of wealth is one of the biggest problems in our country. Just look at one person taking 10 billion naira in a country that, people can't even have a 3-day course meal. So that tells you that all is not well. So, if we can put all hands on deck, go back to the drawing board, how do we get here as a nation? What can we do right? Let's say no to tribalism. Let's say no to police brutality. Let's all say no to corruption. All these things we get here right. And sooner or later, we'll have a better country.
And I guess that's why it's when people are japaing, because they want a better life, a better standard of living. And that's what they get here in the UK. So what do you have to say to all the people who keep putting stupid videos online, giving unsolicited advice, saying, don't japa, don't come to the UK, or don't come to the UK, or life is here hard for Nigerians here in the UK. What do you have to say to them?
For me, I always tell people all the time, listen, life is hard everywhere. Understand? Even if you come to this part of the world, you work, you pay taxes, things are not easy everywhere. But the truth about it is, some of our people too need to just calm down with some of the videos they're doing. Understand? I don't know, maybe some maybe could have just been to the UK a few months, excited, overboard. I find it strange sometimes when I see some videos, but just have to laugh at it. So yeah, it's not easy in this part of the world, but you enjoy a good system. You understand? A system that works for you. You enjoy paying taxes and seeing the benefit of paying taxes. You understand? Let's ask ourselves as Nigerians, what do you enjoy paying taxes as a Nigerian? Ask yourself. You dig your own borehole, your own power minister, solar panel, generator, all these things. You understand? The roads are bad. So many things are wrong.
What are the taxes doing?
Exactly. So these are questions to ask yourself. So of course, coming to part of the world doesn't mean you're going to become a millionaire overnight. But what you do is you work for your money and you enjoy what you're working for. Thank you.
You mentioned work for your money. So a lot of people have this idea that the jobs that Nigerians do in the UK are, someone once said BBC, that they are British bum cleaners. So what's your thought on that? Is it true that every Nigerian that comes in the UK is, cleaning British bums and doing jobs that they wouldn't do in Nigeria?
For me, the mindset has always been the Dickinson label. This part of the world, there's nothing like classism or anything. So it doesn't matter what jobs people are doing. Understand? People are different. So if someone's doing a job, as far as the job is legal and they're doing the right thing, they're not stealing or whatever, we need to respect each other's choices. Understand? We all can't be the same. Not everybody can be working in an office. Not everybody can be doing certain jobs. But this is part of the world. But the problem we have as Nigerians is the fact that because someone is not doing what you expect them to do, suddenly they're not good enough. Even the Prime Minister in this country cannot talk down on someone who's a cleaner. Understand? Because this part of the world is an eye-opener for every one of us. A Prime Minister can lose his job for just expressing a cleaner. This is not Nigeria, the anyhowness we do in our society. So when it comes part of the world, we respect other people's ways of life. Understand? I've seen people who are cleaners who are British citizens, and they will never change their career. I've seen carers who do healthcare assistant for over 15, 20 years. British citizens, born and bred in the UK. But they never change their career because they have a passion for what they're doing. Understand? So what gives them, because we come a country that says get rich or die trying. Understand? Over here, nobody cares. If you like, your neighbor's on benefit and you have 10 cars in front of your driveway, Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. You're wearing Gucci or wearing this or wearing that.
Understand? So that's the difference there. So for me, there's the UK's level playing field. Let people respect each other. I mean, if anyone's to change their career, in our community, for example, we do a lot of transition into different careers, transition into nursing, transition into tech, transition into engineering, transition into cybersecurity, transition into construction. So people will do what works for them. You understand? It's not. Nobody go tell people what thing they could do. Understand? Everybody's a grown as adults. You understand? People need to understand that there's some jobs that people are doing that they actually have a passion for it, and that is it. So because you're making more money than somebody else doing certain job, they're okay with it. So I think
funny enough, the person that's doing the cleaning here, cleaning British bums, is making more money than the person who's doing a bank job in Nigeria.
Absolutely. Our friends who are bankers in Nigeria earning 150,000 in a month. Even they are there to Japa themselves. Every day they message, what's the afar, what's up in Canada today? They even themselves know that they're ready to leave, you understand? And this part of the world, even I've seen cleaners who have houses in this part of the world because they have a good credit score, they can have what to deposit, they buy a house. So it doesn't matter what job it is. So I think the classes themselves has to stop for all of us. Especially when it comes to the UK. The UK is a level playing field. Nobody's better than anybody.
I think a difference I see between Nigerians here and Nigerians in Nigeria is that Nigerians seem very superficial. Everybody, you go to church, everybody's trying to dress a particular way, wear particular designers, drive particular cars. Here, people are not thinking that way. You just wear your jeans, go to church. Here, people are not as superficial.
One of the funny things I saw in our community, I think sometime last year, a guy came, I think he just moved to the UK, said, so the guy now got a job as a delivery driver for, I think it was a Yodel, and his wife is a nurse, now saying, my husband can't be doing this kind of job. We were just laughing, yeah. When you look at the funny part in the UK is, even you as a nurse that work with NHS, how much are you earning? Maybe you're in a band 5, band 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe some of them don't even earn just over £2,000. You understand? But people need to respect whatever job someone is doing. So, for example, because you're a nurse and you're earning certain money, doesn't mean you have a right to talk down on anybody else. I know drivers in this country, for example, like of Eddie Stobart lorry drivers, they earn about £800 a week after tax.
Wow.
If you know Eddie Stobart truck drivers and stuff, HTV licenses, in a month that's about £3,200. So money that even some doctors in the UK
not getting.
Absolutely, you understand? So it's an eye opener. So when the gentleman tweeted and said, my wife said I can't do this kind of job, delivery driver, I just like think, what is wrong with some of this?
So what should he be doing then?
Obviously, the Nigerian mindset. You're a nurse. Your husband must be maybe a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, or maybe wearing suits. So that's the mindset of some of our women in Nigeria. But this part of the world doesn't matter. As far as your husband is doing a job that's legal, he's hardworking, he's paying bills, is irrelevant. And even the delivery driver your husband is doing is also good money.
Yes.
There's usually drivers earning £500-600 a week. That's almost £2,000, £5,700 in a month. So what's the problem?
That's a very bad superficial mentality.
Absolutely. My husband cannot be doing this kind of job. As in what? Is your husband a thief? No. He's doing a legal job. So expecting that.
Even people that are doing hair, sometimes from one person they can make £100.
Absolutely.
And imagine you're doing 10 people's hair in one day, £100 times 10, £1,000.
Yeah.
So like you said, there's dignity in labor, whatever job you're doing, as long as you're not committing a crime.
Absolutely.
There's dignity in labor. Whether you're a cleaner, whether you're a bus driver, there's dignity in labor.
Talking about hair, my sister who actually gave me the name Olu of Derby. She's the hairstylist. You understand? Wow. She's the hairstylist. She's bought a house in Croydon, London. She now has 2 properties.
From doing hair.
She now has 2 properties in Derby. She has 3 properties in
From doing hair.
Yes, from doing hair.
Wow.
Never. I've known her for about almost 12, 13 years now. Never had another job. But you see her working 6 days a week.
Wow.
Saturdays, you can't even call on Saturday because the shop is fully packed. Wow. She works about 4 different staffs. The shop is the biggest hair salon in Derby.
Wow.
Super busy 24/7. But this is what we're talking about, that there's dignity in labor. You now wonder, maybe a husband will say, no, my wife can be a hairdresser, understand? But we need to open our eyes to respect other people's ways of life. Understand? Yeah.
Funny enough, a hairdresser in Nigeria, people will be talking down on them. You come and do this, come and do that, come and do that. Well, here, how can someone talk down on your sister who has 3 houses from me?
It's not possible. He's also a landlord, you understand? So that's exactly what it is. So people just have an eye opener, understand? When it comes to part of the world, it's a different level playing field.
So should everybody Japa?
Of course not. No, Japa is not for everybody.
Why?
Understand? Because the truth is that not everybody's ready to Japa. Understand? There's people who are comfortable where they are. Understand? I mean, relocation is not easy because the fact that people are coming out of your comfort zone. So when you come out of your comfort zone, it's kind of be a bit scary as well. Understand? Especially if you don't have the family support, the kind of community we have back in our country. So, for example, I mean, you have a child now in Nigeria, for example, now you know that, okay, there's 2-3 aunties who can babysit it. But over here,
Yeah,
are you going to... You pay for your nose. So, of course, all these things also come to perspective as well, you understand? Or also, relocation, I mean, where do you start from getting a new job, you understand? Accommodation, it's also not easy. A lot of people are struggling. Some people are even Airbnb as I'm talking to you now because they can't get a property to stay in. So relocation is not easy. So you just need to think about it very, very easily. And of course, not every Nigerian also comes to a country like the UK. Some people want to go to Spain. So if you're going to go to Spain, you need to learn Spanish. If you're going to go to France, you need to learn French. The whole bonsoir, attention, oui, comment t'appelles-tu, je m'appelle. You need to learn all these things because how do you connect with the locals?
Yeah.
Understand? How do I apply for a job in French if I can't speak French? How do I have a source of income? So all these things you need to learn. So of course relocation is going to be easy. If you're Nigerian going to go to a country like Austria or Germany, you need to learn German. Where do I start from? So all these things you ask yourself, am I making the right choice? So by the end of the day, if you're going to move abroad, do your due diligence, do your homework to make sure you're doing it. Otherwise, you have yourself to blame. Thank you.
So it seems like life is good for Nigerians here in the UK. Because some people have this mentality that when you come to UK, you struggle, that life is very difficult for Nigerians in the UK. So it seems like life is good then from what you're saying.
So for me, people need to understand there's 2 things that happen. So I always see people that if you move to the UK for the first 1 year, you haven't arrived. You understand? When I say you haven't arrived, you're still trying to work on your credit score. You're trying to build yourself, trying to maintain yourself, trying to build friendship, relationship. Because this part of the world, you also need all those things. You understand? How do you have a good life in this part of the world? Your credit score is the most important factor. Understand? You want to be able to go into the shops. See this Range Rover. See this BMW. See this house. iPhone 16 is coming out tomorrow. You know they're confident that you can afford to buy it. When I say afford to buy it, it doesn't mean that you're going to pay at once. Because you have a good credit score, you can walk into any shop, buy a phone. You can walk into any shop, buy a car. You can walk to any bank, say, listen, I just found a property. I want to put £300,000 on my mortgage or something. You should be able to afford to do it easily because you have a good credit score. Understand? So all these things happen. But if you just move to the UK in less than 6 months, your money. Of course, you're not there yet. That's the problem. You're not there yet. Understand? So a lot of these things, people need to understand that when you come to abroad, you need to be patient. It's a gradual process. You will get there. Understand? So for example, now, after a year, you can apply for a catalog. You can apply for a credit card. Understand? It doesn't have to be even a couple of months, maybe 6 months plus. You can apply for these things. Understand? Before you know it, if your capital one credit card is £250, give you a year down the line. That same capital on £250 will be £2,000. Understand? That same backlist credit card you have that maybe they give you £100 will be £1,000. And before you know it, everything will get better and better. And along the process, maybe the job you started from day one, a year down the line, you will change your job, have more income coming in. So the more you hear, the more life will get better for you.
I think you need to say that patience thing a bit louder for people who have family members in Nigeria because they think, this person has traveled to the UK, send money, send funds down.
I think one of the problems you also have is black tax as well. And a lot of people also want to impress back home. I've arrived and stuff. But people need to be patient to people that, listen, when people come over here, even a year, they're still just about putting their foot on the step. They're not there yet, understand? Even when people come, most people will change accommodation within a couple of months. Because when you come to somewhere, you're desperate to take a place. Maybe along the line, you now find out that, for my money, I could get a better place and stuff. You don't move. So all these things also matters as well.
So a lot of people believe that, the reason that they're having change in immigration laws is because of the things that Nigerians have been posting online. All these stupid videos, showing things they shouldn't be showing. Like I know recently I saw a video that someone posted. I don't know his name, but he was filming, himself taking care of a patient, filming himself in the person's house. You could even hear the person's voice. So is this the reason that things are changing in immigration law for Nigerians? Because we're talking too much online?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's not even that many of us, if I'm honest with you. There's not even that many of us like that. I mean, compared to like the Indians, the Pakistanis, the Philippines, even the Chinese, there's a lot of, but the problem is that with Nigerians is that we're doing a lot, you understand? And a lot of us are also very loud.
Yes, too loud.
I mean, when you go on Instagram, so I mean, I've seen a lot of different videos from different countries and stuff. But at the end of the day, it comes to the Prime Minister itself making those policies and changes. I think the Conservative Party are desperate to be in power. And of course, whenever there's an election coming up, immigration is always a key issue here in the UK. It's always been like that for many, many years. Whereby immigration is always a key issue about, they're trying to use immigration to convince and say, listen, to win votes for the British public. Of course, there's also been some issues about some local councils have complained about, they're being maxed today, their hospitals are full, their hostels are full, their towns are full. So, of course, I'm not disputing when it comes to cutting down on migration, but how it's done, how the policies are changed drastically. I mean, you collect a lot of money from people to come over here, students pay a lot of school fees, and suddenly you tell them, listen, once you're done, you're out, that kind of stuff. Which is a bit harsh, you understand? I mean, there's an article that came up recently that said about £43 billion was injected into the British economy by international students. Wow. That's a lot of money. Wow. That's a lot of money, you understand? So as much as the government want to on migration, they also see the positivity that these immigrants are also bringing into the British economy. They're not just coming here, they're also working and paying taxes, which is also good for the British economy, which is the plus for the British economy. So all these things come to perspective. For me, I just think the Prime Minister is a knee-jerk reaction from the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. Obviously, they're desperate to be in power, and obviously, Labour Party has a lot of high rating in the British public, in the British media and stuff. So it could be one of the reasons why. But it has nothing to do with Nigerians. We don't even do enough videos, if I'm honest.
It's all of that guy that came on BBC to talk about how, when Nigerians come on a student visa, they don't plan to ever leave.
So the issue with I think Tiami was maybe just over excited and stuff. Maybe that was his first interview in the public domain. I remember he came on our Twitter space and he apologized and he talked about a few things. I mean, a lot of people were very angry with him and stuff.
Yeah, some people were raining curses on him.
Yeah, I mean, that's just very childish, though. I mean, that was very childish. I mean, raining curses is irrelevant. I mean, people were angry, you understand? I mean, how did they chat with him over the phone, by the way? How did they chat with him? And obviously, we hosted Twitter space. We talked about these things. And I was trying to see from his perspectives, you understand? But obviously, he knew that what he did was totally unacceptable, you understand? He shouldn't have said that. He felt like maybe the guy was putting the word in his mouth. But I mean, you're a grown-ass man, so you should be able to know what to say and what not to say, you understand? Because this is what also work against every one of us, you understand? So, but I believe the Home Office always do what the Home Office do. And I'm not surprised because the former Home Secretary and the former Prime Minister, Theresa May, did something similar a couple of years ago, you understand? Yeah, some policies were changed. Once it's like for them, once they had enough, they just closed the door. But then came COVID 2020. COVID made life a lot difficult. About the healthcare sector was in total shambles, you understand? So they're desperate for people to come in. So they now feel like maybe now they've also reached a place. But then for me, the most important factor is that a lot of these places are coming to place because we have an election coming up soon. And it's just for them to stay in power, to
say I did something about immigration.
That's exactly what it is. So for me, it's a knee-jerk reaction from the Prime Minister, and we have to wait and see what happens in the British public.
So I've just got 3 more questions for you. So my next question is, you did a space online you hosted a space about Japa affecting marriages. So what's all of that about? Are you saying that people should not come to the UK if they're married because the UK is going to ruin their marriage?
So for me, the difference is that people should come to the UK for marriage. That's not the issue. It's obviously a lot of our people are not financially empowered. You understand? A lot of women come over here. Is an eye opener. I'll put it that way. It's an eye opener whereby people need to understand that when you come to abroad as a couple, you have to work together as a couple. A lot from Nigerian men to Nigerian women, we have to change our mindset. There's a lot of things to learn and unlearn too. You understand? So you as a Nigerian man need to understand that when you come over here, you need to support your woman and help. There's no housemaids over here. And over here, marriage is a partnership.
No housemates.
Nobody, you can't be doing that. I'm the family man. I can't change pampers. I can't sweep. I can't wash plates.
Where's my food? Bring
Where's
it now.
my food? What's wrong with your uncle? You go to kitchen and microwave your food yourself, uncle. You understand? So there's no alpha male in diaspora. That's just the truth. And when it comes to our women too, they also need to understand that a man also needs a support system too. Understand? As much as your man is your king and everything, also support him. I'm a believer of, we used to have a space with Pastor Dele. Pastor Dele Alawale every Saturday about my marriage or work, and with Shega Link as well. And we'll talk about a few things. I've said it so many times, and I'm still sticking to that point that as an African man, I understand, okay, fine. I'm not saying do 50-50, but as an African man, do 60%, and then the woman do 40%. Maybe
when you say 60%, you mean the finance?
The finances of the house.
Finances
matters.
Okay.
No, finances also matters in part of the world. Let's forget love. Finances can also destroy a marriage and relationship. Because when the man is paying everything, they'll believe that you don't do. You understand? Because you push someone to the wall. So has the man anyone maybe £1,800 after tax? He's paying almost £900, £1,000 for the rent or the mortgage, this and that, bills and stuff. Don't also forget the black tax too. This same person has same money back home. So maybe by the time the man is done, he's only got £100 left in his pocket. As the man, you'll be miserable to the end of the month because you'll just be angry. You understand? The wife says, honey, what's wrong? Please leave me alone.
What are you doing? You're not contributing to the house.
Exactly. So we need to work together as one big family. So when people need to come over here, even our women to understand, okay, fine. Maybe in Nigeria, the man is doing everything for you, but this part of the world, it doesn't work that way.
That. Both of you need to be doing something to bring in income.
Otherwise, the marriage is going to go down the drain, and nobody wants a liability. So let's support each other to make marriages work. And even if there's issues in the marriage, I think people should reach out to loved ones. I mean, we all have our families around us. There's people that we listen to when they talk to us. If you feel like something's not working, talk to them, talk to their siblings, talk to your partner's siblings. They'll listen, they'll talk sense to them. Even as much as I live to my mom, I have sisters too, who are my younger ones. But if they talk, I mean, there's some things that I probably don't want to hear them say, because if you reach them, they tell me off as their brother. I'll even be apologizing to them. You understand? So all these things also matters as well. So it's important that there are people to come over here to understand that let's work together to make marriages work in the UK. Okay.
But is it true that people are more likely to divorce when they come here to the UK? Do you not have any statistics? Or
I mean, we don't have any right because obviously I'm not the Home Office or a Nigerian lawyer like that. But I mean, these things are very common. I mean, it's been happening a lot. In fact, it's now become like a pandemic. Yeah.
Divorce.
It's become like a pandemic now. I mean, it's unfortunate that this is happening. We'll plan to have a marriage counselor spaces, for a few series in our community to talk about these issues. People can open up to say, okay, what's the cause of the problem? How do we resolve it? You understand? Because fine, you leave this person today, you go tomorrow. What do you know you're going to be tomorrow? You understand? I understand that peace matters is the most important thing. I mean, everybody wants their peace if you're not happy in your home and stuff. And sometimes as well, just talk to the right people. You understand? The right people can also talk to. And I love our culture, the Nigerian culture, whereby if something is not right, just reach out to someone who can talk to your partner for you and trying to resolve the situation. But,
and it will look like the Home Office, like maybe it's a sort of arranged marriage. You guys marry, you come down here, you divorce. Maybe you're not a real man.
I was talking to the lawyer recently and they said to me, the level of divorces that is going through that Nigerian couples is unbelievable. And if, as a Nigerian, he's thinking that way, what's Home Office thinking? Just put yourself in that perspective. Because if I'm an Home Office person, I'm saying, why are these people just suddenly 3, 4, 6 months, they want to divorce?
Maybe that's why they're even changing the law that care workers cannot come with their family members.
Because the law of things are not adding up. So we all need to look inwards into ourselves too. I mean, sometimes I don't even blame the government for certain policies, but let's look inward to ourselves. What are we doing wrong? What can we do right? You understand? Let's try. Because the truth is, even if something's not working, I mean, it just doesn't jump overnight and studying because you ever heard suddenly this person is not good enough for you. So I mean, looking towards yourself.
Your standards have changed now that you're in the UK. Your husband is not good enough.
It's not good enough.
Not up to your standards. Throw him away.
We all need to do better and look inwards. Yeah.
So just 2 final questions for you. My question is, how can a person join the NIUK community? So what are the
the requirement?
Yeah.
So the join the NIUK community is very simple. We just need to require 2 requirements. You need to have a profile picture, and of course, make sure you're also based in the UK. So if you meet those 2 requirements, just request to join the community, and one of the members, one of the moderators of the community will accept you. We have over 14,300 members that join the community. So you're coming to community, a striving Nigerian community that we all win together, connect, and of course win as one big family self. Also, you can go on our website, www.niukcommunity.com. Fill the Google form in there, put your details in, and just request to join the community from there as well. Or even go on Instagram and follow us on Instagram and join the community.
And my final question, what advice do you have to Nigerians who want to come to the UK or Nigerians who are currently living in the UK?
So my advice is always simple. If you're not going to come to the UK, plan yourself. Do your due diligence well. In this part of the world, nobody's going to come and rescue you. It's every man for himself. The UK is a land of opportunity. If you plan yourself right, a lot of things will work for you. It's that simple. Don't come and think here, you come in here and in a year's time, you want to be a millionaire. It doesn't work that way. You understand? But the truth is, you also have to be ready to work. You understand? You can't go to your next door neighbor and borrow, please, sister, said I have my gidders rice. It doesn't happen. You understand? So if you don't have food in your house, you're on your own. So the truth is that you need to work and plan yourself according to your means. And along the line, everything else will fall into place for you naturally. I mean, the goal itself is when people come over here for IRL, British passport, you will get there. You understand? Don't rush yourself. It's the step at the right time.
Patience.
Work, pay your tax, and everything else will work for you. The Nigerians that are here already, I always try to advise people, work on your credit score, build yourself, no matter where it is. Because the credit score is one of the most important factors in this part of the world. It makes a big difference, you understand? You're able to afford anything you want, you understand? Because a lot of things are based on finances in part of this world. So when you have a good credit score, it also gives you a backbone, you understand? God forgive you have an emergency tomorrow. You can reach out to your credit card, even get a loan from the bank, you understand? This is all because you have a good credit score. So all these little things make a big difference. And of course, if you're Nigerian, who's also based in the UK, plan yourself along the line. I mean, I always like to see Nigerians progress. We're trying to do a space for business entrepreneurship soon. How do you start a business in the UK? All these little things also matter. So if you're Nigerian based in the UK yourself, you're level 1 now, ask yourself in the next 2-3 years, what's your goal plan? Understand? I want to be level 2, level 3. There's no rush, but at least have those goal plans to say, what, the next 3 years, this is exactly what I want to be. And I believe that in our community, there's a lot of mentorship and educative information, so many things that we all learn from each other. I mean, I've learned a lot from even being in the community, even as the president of the community. I've learned so much from so many people in the community. Sometimes there's things that seem like, okay, this is how it's meant to be done, And I'll go online to see this how it's done. I realized, okay, fantastic. I've just learned something from someone in the community. Because sometimes you might think this is the way it's done, and then somebody said, no, this is how it's done, and you see that this is perfect. So, of course, as Nigerians in the UK, let's all learn together, come together as one big family, win together, connect, and support each other like Nigerians in the UK. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was supposed to be my last question, but this is my last question. No more questions after this. I saw someone write online that anybody who tells you don't Japa is a wicked person. What's your thought on that?
Well, I think it's a matter of individual, though. I mean, the truth is not everybody wants to live in Nigeria. I mean, I have friends who are doing well in Nigeria that they find it strange to come. I mean, a friend came to the UK sometime last year. He was meant to stay for 2 weeks, and within 5 days, he just changed his ticket because he felt like he was losing money. So, Japa is not for everybody. People should do what works for them. So people are comfortable where they are as well. People are also scared of relocation. Some people are scared, where do I start? Understand? Because coming abroad is not easy. I mean, because the whole survival, whether get a new job, new friends, meet people, where do I start from? A new community is not easy. So the good thing is that with the Nigerian community now that we have in the UK, for example, it's made life a lot easier for people. I remember a gentleman reached out to me recently, said he said he is an immigration officer who actually told him, I'm ready to let him at the airport. So when they saw his passport, that's the first time he was traveling, the man asked, go and join the NIUK community in the UK, they will help you, blah, blah. So I'm like, really? Say, yeah. He's at the airport. And the immigration officer told him, like, wow, I was shocked. Wow. And this guy joined our community. So every time he wanted to maybe he would be tweeting, where's the best supermarket to go to? Where to do this? Which bank is best for him? So, and of course, when he puts a question, maybe 20 people reply him. Wow. So, of course, he's also getting information from there because he just moved this part of the world. So, his life is a lot better now for a lot of people are coming now. Unlike before, whereby you basically on your own.
Just completely lost. You
Absolutely.
Don't want to talk to
and
nobody
now,
to help
we
you.
now have, since the NIUK was created, we now have over almost 14 different Nigerian communities in the world. We have Nigerians in the US, which is NIUS community. We have Nigerians in Finland. We have Nigerians in Germany. We have Nigerians in Australia. We have Nigerians in the Middle East. We have Nigerians in Ireland. So many Nigerian communities now. So it doesn't matter what country you're going as a Nigerian. There's a community for you that just, join that community, express yourself, and there people will help you. Our fellow Nigerians, understand. Even on 16th of December, so we're going to be having Nigerians in diaspora end of the year party. So Nigerians in Germany, Nigerians in the US, Nigerians in the UK. We're going to be having our end of the year party on the 16th of December. All of us together, one big family. Yeah, thank you.
It was great having you here. So if you enjoy that conversation, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please join the NIUK community. Go to www.niukcommunity.com and be part of this lovely community now. And remember, don't Japa because everybody's doing it. Do what works for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Thank you so much.